Walker, Stephen Peak, live from Shack in the Back Barbecue in Fairdale. Had no idea that you said 30 seconds, but I didn't hear anything, so wasn't 100% sure if the intro was playing or not playing. We got producer Matt here as well, and we're sharing a microphone, so we're just going to do that the whole show?
Yeah, I guess so. It's we're sitting sitting uncomfortably close. Yeah. TJ getting over the flu, so we'll see how this goes.
We're going to have to get another microphone. I'm not going to get him sick by talking into this mic the entire show. I guess we'll just pass it back and forth and take turns saying things. But happy to be at Shack in the Back. It's a good crowd here for the first Lenten Friday. They've got where's those specials go? A piece of paper is over on there, right here in front of me. $10 specials today, which is pretty exciting stuff. Pork and chicken plus 2 sides or 1 side and a drink for $10. You can't beat that. 10706 West Manslick Road, Fairdale. Shack in the Back. Come out and say hello to us. Bring us a microphone if you have an extra one. The only radio station in town carrying just one microphone. I'm wearing headsets that don't even connect back to the main station, which is always good, clean fun as well. So going great on our Friday. The Cats look to avoid a 3-game losing streak tomorrow down at Auburn. Are you going to that game?
Yeah, we are leaving tomorrow morning, getting to the Plains just before tip-off, maybe a couple hours before, and hoping that the Cats can get another win. The last time I was there was insane atmosphere. Auburn was really good, and they had a bad shooting night. It was a big win for Calipari. That was actually the game, TJ, where Cal came out and talked to the press, and I think he saw some people there, like Jeff Goodman, and he thought that he said, "Oh, look who's here! Like you're going to try to make this out to be," and he does that whole thing, and but it was a good time. I mean, Auburn. We'll see how this goes now that Bruce Pearl is gone. I've actually thought maybe that might be the end of the rise of the Auburn Tigers, but they have they really built up a basketball tradition. When I was there earlier this year for football, I talked to a lot of their students, and they said, "Oh, we're a basketball school now." Well, I don't know. They've lost 5 straight, 4 of them to really good teams, but I thought that loss to Mississippi State this week wasn't a very good loss for them, and they are reeling, but both teams are. I mean, both teams going into this game need a win. Auburn maybe more so than Kentucky for the NCAA tournament, but, I mean, if you were to ask any of the Kentucky players or Mark Pope or Kentucky fans, they would tell you, oh, we got to have this one. If you just want to get into the hunt for a double bye in the SEC tournament, which is, you still have a chance at it. There's just such a logjam of teams from 2 to 9. But, yeah, we'll be making the trip down there. Really, I'm looking forward to it. I'm trying to hype myself up because I've been saying since that loss to Georgia that really I don't know what we're playing for. I don't know if we're playing for any trophies this year. So it's just individual wins, trying to maintain that top spot as the winningest program in college basketball history as Kansas is closing in. So I'm trying to give this game meaning for myself, but still looking forward to it. Anytime I get a chance to watch the Cats play in person, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's just if you don't lose to Georgia, everything, and we've said this so many different times this year, if you beat Georgia, you go into this game feeling like you still have a little momentum, even though it'd only be a 1-game win streak, and you would be right there for the number 2 spot in the SEC tournament, and instead you find yourself in a position where, I hate to keep bringing this up, but if you lose on Saturday and you're underdogs to lose that game, you will be really fighting to not play on Wednesday in the SEC tournament. That will be a realistic possibility for you. Where things stand right now, what is Kentucky? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, they're playing on Wednesday as things stand right now. They are 9th in the league with the way that at least the ESPN tiebreakers have them. They do have the tiebreaker over Texas, so I don't think that's right. But then again, they have Texas A&M. They've lost to Missouri. They've lost to Vandy. So normally when there's a bunch of teams tied right there, it's a combined record among them. I don't know if ESPN's taking that into consideration. So maybe Kentucky's not actually at 9th as of today. But they could be. They could be. And a couple more losses, they could drop to the 10 seed. That's not off the table for them. That's crazy to say, Stephen Peak. Instead, if you had beaten Georgia and you're at 9-4 in the conference, you're tied for second, and you have the tiebreaker for second where things stand right there. That's the difference of what Tuesday made. Losing at home to Georgia for the first time in over 15 years. That is terrible. That is bad. You're playing for a lot. Why was Georgia more desperate than you? And why do I already know, Peak, that Auburn, coming off a 5-game losing streak, will be more desperate than Kentucky, even though it should matter more to Kentucky? Auburn is right now 14-12 on the season. Probably going to need a miracle to make the NCAA tournament, all things considered, and especially looking – actually, their schedule's not too difficult, but on the flip side, they need to win all those games. If they lose to Oklahoma, if they lose to Ole Miss, if they lose to LSU, that will eliminate them, no doubt about it. But they do have Kentucky and Alabama left on the schedule. Those are tough. They need to take advantage of it. This is an absolute must-win for Auburn. And I said going into the Georgia game that it was a must-win for Kentucky, and then I had to pause and say, well, no, not technically. Like, if you don't win it, your season's not over. You won't go to the NIT or anything like that, but it's going to put you in a pretty bad spot. And same thing for Auburn tomorrow. It's not a must-win for Kentucky in the sense of, oh, your season's over if you don't win it. But it is really going to, once again, put you in a bad spot, probably will drop you another seed line. I was shocked that the mock selection committee had UK as a 6 seed. We'll maybe talk a little bit about more. I think Kentucky right now is an 8. You lose on Saturday, you're 9. And then you keep losing 10, 11, bubble. It's not totally off the table for Kentucky just yet, and that's strictly because you didn't win on Tuesday. That's what that loss cost you. Georgia was more desperate. They beat you. Now, Kentucky, when it played its best basketball at the beginning of the game and at the end, it looked like the more desperate, the hungrier team. No coincidence. That worked, and that won. They did for the majority of the game against Tennessee. It worked, and they won. Same against Arkansas. When this team wants to outfight its opponent, I know it's cliche, just coach talk, but you see it from this team. It's evident. You don't have to be a basketball Benny to notice it. When they're diving on the floor and they look like their life's on the line, they play better. And when they're just kind of hot dogging it, as they'd say back in the 30s, and just going through the motions, they're not good. And even when they're playing okay, they're really not that good. They have to be playing great to kind of look good with the group that they have this year and with the way the injuries have all played out. Auburn is literally playing for its life. Kentucky, we'd all like them to think that they're playing for their life every game with the way the season's gone. I've got a bad feeling they're going to come out, and once again, Auburn, the opponent of the Kentucky Wildcats, will play more desperate, will play hungrier, and ultimately win the game because for the majority of it, they were the team that wanted it more. Should never happen at the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky is playing for something. They should be playing desperate at this point. I mean, Kentucky has had just 2 3-game losing streaks since 2009. I mean, we're talking the last 16 years of Kentucky basketball. They've only had 2 3-game losing streaks. One was 2018. That team went on to win the SEC tournament. And then the other one was during COVID. So I guess they had multiple 3-game losing streaks that season. But they only 2 years in the last 16 has Kentucky had a 3-game losing streak. And because of that loss to Georgia, you're now you have a chance of taking another one this year. So you should be playing desperate. 3-game losing streaks are not acceptable at Kentucky. And I know you can say the SEC is tougher, and it is. It's way tougher. I mentioned that on one of the last shows, just how the teams that you played in 2016 who, like Auburn, you lost to Auburn. They were 182nd in KenPom when you lost to them. Who's 182nd in KenPom this year? Northern Kentucky. So, yes, it is different this year as when it comes to playing these SEC teams. But still, a 3-game losing streak is not something that we're going to ever get used to at the University of Kentucky. And so, like, it's important that you come out and win this one. There is one thing that I'm getting – I don't want to say I'm getting tired of it, but it is just annoying after every loss now. There is a fire Mark Pope thread on KS Board. And I'm not annoyed with the fans. I get it. Like, you want Kentucky to be great, TJ. It's not good enough to just be good. And I really think that Mark Pope can do himself a lot of favors to win on Saturday. You go to South Carolina, very, very winnable game. You get to host Vanderbilt, very winnable, I think, at home. Vanderbilt, I know that they lost by 25 in Nashville. I still think that game is winnable. And if you go at Texas A&M and Florida to close out the season, if you can just get one of those, you can end this season with some momentum, and you can make us start to believe again that maybe you can make a run in the SEC tournament. Right now, KenPom has Kentucky projected to be an 8 seed in the SEC tournament. They would be playing the winner of South Carolina and Texas. And then if they were to win that game, according to KenPom, they would be playing the number 1 seeded Florida Gators. That is a recipe to lose on Friday again. We haven't seen Saturday since 2022. Is that right? Is that 4 years ago? That's wild. That is wild. So, yeah, you got to win on Saturday. There should be just as much urgency for Kentucky as there is for Auburn. I mean, this is Kentucky basketball. This is a team that wins the SEC regularly. And Auburn is a team that they won it last year. Was that the first time they won it in decades? So, Kentucky has got to come out, and I want to see what they did against Arkansas. I want to see them jump out to an early lead. Don't be chasing this game the whole time. Kentucky, even with the injuries, I feel like is a better team than Auburn, and they should win this game. Now, right now, I think the ESPN's projection has Auburn winning, and I believe that's the case with KenPom, Bartorvik. Do you know the spread? Do you have a spread for that game yet? Is there one?
Yes, it's 2.5.
Okay, I didn't see enough. Kentucky, Auburn's okay.
Auburn's a 2.5 point favorite.
Got it. So, I don't know. I still feel like Kentucky's a better team than Auburn. Home court advantage is worth, 3.4 points? So, we'll see. I don't feel great about it, but I do feel good about it. I feel less worried about this game for some reason than I was about the Georgia game, just because you couldn't lose that one. But going on the road, going into that tough environment, do you think the environment will be as good as we've seen it the last couple of years? Because I just think with them reeling like this, you won't see the same kind of intensity that we've seen in the last few trips.
No, I don't think it'll be as good, but it'll still be a Saturday night in the SEC. It'll be a rowdy, drunk crowd for the folks that are there. So I do think that it's a home court advantage for Auburn, but nothing that Kentucky hasn't seen or won against at different times this season. It's a lot of what you said is true. I don't know if Kentucky is a better team than Auburn. I think their rosters are similar, where it's just kind of flawed roster makeups with talented people sprinkled throughout. But Pettiford is a good player, and Keyshawn Murphy is one of the best scorers in the SEC, or Keyshawn Hall, Keyshawn Murphy. They've got a couple Keyshawns in their starting lineup, so you can get them confused. Keyshawn Murphy was the fella who played for Mississippi State for a few seasons, I think 3 seasons before transferring to Auburn this year. And then Keyshawn Hall is an NCAA journeyman who started at UNLV, went to George Mason, went to Central Florida, put up big numbers at Central Florida, and now he's averaging 21 points per game at Auburn. But it's really a 3-man show between those 3, Todd Pettiford, Keyshawn Hall, and Keyshawn Murphy. And then if they get really anything else from anybody else, it's a bit of a surprise, whether it's Overton, they're starting big men, Williams, Adams. But he's not really a huge factor, all things considered, and they don't really have much coming off their bench as well. So it's pretty much a 3-man show for Auburn. Stop me if you've heard that before, because I consider it a 3-man show for Kentucky. You have to get something out of Aberdeen. You have to get something out of Oweh. And obviously now Colin Chandler has asserted himself as a number 3. And that's probably the story of the game. You'll be able to look in the first 10 minutes. You'll be able to look at halftime. You'll be able to look midway through the third quarter. Which trio's having a better game? Is it Hall, Murphy, Pettiford, or is it Oweh, Chandler, and Aberdeen? It's like dueling law offices or something like that. But whoever is winning that matchup, that trio, I will almost guarantee you is winning the game. I don't think you're going to see a surprise fourth person step up, whether it be on Kentucky or Auburn. Now, you may get like Malachi with a double-double at 10 and 10, and that'll be huge. I don't want to discredit maybe a fourth or a fifth guy having an important role player role. But from a scoring standpoint and just an efficiency, production, made three standpoint, their three versus our three. And whoever wins that trio, I would almost guarantee you, is going to win the game. That's still, it goes back to Georgia, that's still the issue. Why in Auburn having a down year, or am I saying, the talent, very similar? Why were we saying that against Georgia? And Pope, you better outcoach Pearl on tomorrow night. You better, because you got outcoached on Tuesday. You better outcoach little baby Pearl. He's getting outcoached left and right. He's showing his greenness as a coach here. You need to outcoach him. And if not, we could bake in a loss here. Given the circumstances, given how Auburn's been coming into this game, given how you've been coming into this game, you really can't excuse it away. But Mark Pope needs to look at this as a positive spin. This is another opportunity. People are really furious from Tuesday. How do you get them just to exhale? You just win. Get on another little winning streak again, like you did the last time, like you've done a couple times this year. View this as another opportunity and win it. But I'm incredibly nervous, Peak, as you can probably tell here as we start the show today. This is a game that if you lose, you just keep sliding. You're not locked into the NCAA tournament just yet. I said after the Florida game that you needed probably just one more win. I was thinking that no doubt you'd have that against Georgia, and boom, you'd probably be locked in, all things considered, because really after that point, only the South Carolina loss could really, really hurt you. Well, what if you lose to Auburn? What if you lose to South Carolina? What if you can't get Vandy or Florida at home, both teams that are better than you and have already beaten you this season? And then if you can't beat Georgia at home and you can't win at Auburn, what gives you confidence you're going to be able to win at Texas A&M? I hate to bring this up, but losing out is not totally off the table. I don't want it to happen, but it's not totally off the table for Kentucky. So just go ahead and ignore that. Win on Saturday, beat South Carolina, and then start getting some optimism and some confidence in those home games against teams that are a little bit better than you, and see if there's any way that you can finish this regular season strong. And a texter says, TJ, you mentioned multiple times that UK hasn't played in the SEC tournament since 19. That's incorrect. It was 22. Forgot about the loss to Tennessee in 22. Probably forget about that because they were so uninspiring against Vanderbilt that Friday night. They had no business playing on that Saturday, but thank you for correcting me. They haven't won an SEC game on Saturday since 2018. So I'll go ahead and mend the stat just to make it even worse for Kentucky. Yet they haven't won an SEC tournament game since 2018. It is now 2026, and that is unacceptable for Kentucky basketball. This is Kentucky Roll Call. We will get ready to take our first break. I want to tell you about the Gameday Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. You send it in. We'll do our best to read it on air. Thanks for checking us out live from Shack in the Back. $10 lunch specials, pork and chicken sandwiches, 2 sides, $10, or you can get a pork and chicken sandwich, 1 side and a drink, $10. We're out here at 10706 West Manslick Road in Fairdale, Kentucky. Come join us. This is Kentucky Roll Call on Big X Sports Radio. Back after this.
This pressure rushes over me, feels like a bad dream.
Defining a new era in men's health, Gameday Men's Health delivers real results with no shortcuts. From testosterone replacement, weight loss to peptides, vitamins, and sexual performance therapy, Gameday Men's Health will have you covered. Their in-house lab gives you answers in just 15 minutes, and our clinic is designed for men who value privacy, speed, and results. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com. Real men, real science, most importantly, real change. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com.
Calling all young golfers. The PGA Junior League at Old Capitol Golf Club is the perfect way to learn the game, make new friends, and compete in a fun, team-based environment. Open to boys and girls of all skill levels, our PGA Junior League is coached by PGA professionals, helping kids build confidence on and off the course. Join the team and experience golf like never before. Sign up today at Old Capitol Golf Club and let's tee it up. Visit oldcapitalgolf.com to register now.
United Mechanical offers specialized HVAC, refrigeration, plumbing, and electrical services for both industrial and commercial facilities. Locally owned by Germantown native John Burke, they employ union-trained technicians and have served the Louisville, Lexington, and Southern Indiana areas since 2000. United Mechanical provides 24/7 same-day service, reliability, and minimized downtime. Call 502-339-1133. Experience Ivy Tech from the comfort of your own home. Check out Ivy Experience, an all-in-one platform that allows you to explore our beautiful campus, diverse programs, and helpful resources. You can visit experiencesellersburg.ivytech.edu to start your experience and apply for free today. Visit experiencesellersburg.ivytech.edu today.
Spice up your office parties and home get-togethers with Salsarita's Fresh Mexican Grill. Enjoy real, fresh food, including their famous craveable queso and chips. Catering is available for delivery, setup, or pickup. Call now. Salsaritas.
Check the back seat. All right, come here. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good. Because every year, dozens of children are forgotten in the backseat of a car by a parent or caregiver. All never thought it could happen to them. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mitch Craig Heating and Cooling, serving the Kentuckiana area, specializing in residential.
Pictures with Miss BBQ, which we were out here last summer, and Miss BBQ is their mascot pig, who, if you do catering, can come to your event or do whatever you need, but always fun. Out at Shack in the Back, and Big X Sports Radio will be out here all afternoon. Get your text into the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Gameday Men's Health, redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Testosterone, peptides, weight loss, sexual performance therapy. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com, defining a new era in men's health. And we've got some food coming our way at Shack in the Back, which
I'm
is pretty exciting.
This is my first time here. This is this is a really cool place.
Cool setup, isn't it?
Yeah, I like when I pulled up. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then they got the bar down there, and we're upstairs at Shack in the Back, and it's really cool. Like when I first walked in, I saw the upstairs seating. I was like, I hope this is where we do it. It's pretty neat. They got an outside. They got a patio. This is pretty cool. I'm gonna definitely bring my wife here. We're gonna.
It's a sweet setup. Wouldn't be a bad place to watch the game either.
No, not at all.
And great bar, but better than their setup, better than their TVs, better than Miss Barbecue mascot is their food. Their food is incredible. Their turkey ribs. It is cruel and unusual punishment to have a Catholic out here on Friday and not be able to eat their turkey ribs. They're so good. Highly recommend if you're coming out here for any of the shows today, or if you're getting their catering or whatever it may be, try their turkey ribs. They are delicious. So go ahead and enjoy those if you have the means. We'd love to hear from you on this Friday. Rough start. I was a little frustrated with it's just you'd like things to work. They don't. You get over it. You move on. But I'm very happy it's Friday. I'm happy that I've felt the best that I have in several days. The temperature is exactly where it's supposed to be, and no fever. Haven't had a fever for over 24 hours, which is all good things. So I'm feeling good. Makes you appreciate your health. Yeah, and Peak having to just be basically chin to chin there for segment one. Hopefully I'm past the point of contagion. But everybody I know has been getting sick, at least everybody I know with kids, which I'm sure there's a correlation there. But even some folks without kids, even producer Matt, he's maybe patient zero with all this stuff potentially. But happy to be, you really do take your health for granted, even if it's just a simple cold or it's like a sore throat or something like that. It's like, when you feel normal, you really just you feel normal.
I say that all the time.
And then when you're sick, you're just like, I'm not going to take it for granted ever again.
Yeah,
but
2 days healthy and you'll get over it.
Yeah, you just get back to like eating like junk and all that sort of stuff. But happy to be feeling well and appreciate y'all carrying the load for 2 shows this week, and even the days I wasn't really feeling well, having to mute myself to cough here and there. That was not the most fun radio, but feeling good. We'll be doing the Bud Light Kentucky postgame show on the ESPN 680 tomorrow night. The last late one, unless they play late in the SEC tournament, which they almost certainly will, unless they play late in the NCAA tournament, which they almost exclusively have in the first round. They've had maybe like a 7:05 start. I won't complain about that. But the second games are tolerable. No issues with that. Who knows if Kentucky will even get a second game this year. But this will be the last late one on Saturday night, 8:30 down at Auburn. And then the postgame show starting right around 10:30. Knowing ESPN and their coverage of all this, the game won't start till 8:45, meaning the game won't end till about 11. But right once it ends is when the postgame show starts. And you're excited about the game, Peak. You seem a bit optimistic about it. I do agree, again, similar to Georgia. Didn't matter. You lost at home to Georgia. But I do think if Kentucky played Auburn on a neutral floor, I would expect Kentucky to win the game. This isn't at a neutral floor, and I don't like the way Kentucky's really been playing. So I don't feel as good about it. But Kentucky's players can certainly outplay Auburn's players.
Yeah.
It's not a talent issue or anything like that. I just feel like Auburn may be the hungrier team, and that concerns me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we may not have anybody who's exactly like Keyshawn Hall, who I believe Mark Pope compared to Paul Pierce, really going back a few years to make that comparison. But, he's 6'7", 225 pounds. He's shooting 42% from 3 this season, averaging 21 points per game and 7 rebounds. The closest – really there's no one on Kentucky that plays like this. So he's averaging 33 minutes per game. You got guys like Colin, who's just on fire right now from 3. I'd like to see him obviously continue that. I had a stat coming into this game. His last 2 games, he's made 11 threes. I believe he is 11 of 17 from 3 in the last 2 games. Just find a way to get him more looks. We went into the locker room He was 2 for 2 against Georgia. He'd only taken 2 threes.
Yeah.
Can we run plays? Can we run sets to get him open? If Trent Noah is going to have to play, if he has to be on the floor, can we run sets to get Trent Noah open? Mark Pope is an excellent play caller and play designer and X's and O's guru, and Cody Feger, same deal. How about we run some plays to get the shooters open, to get them more looks? Now, I mean, Colin was able to squeeze off 10 the other night, but you know, like I said, in the first half, he was only able to get 2 shots off, and a lot of then I think the last 3 were in crunch time, not necessarily desperation mode, but you know, just Kentucky needed a 3,
Sure.
he had to take them. So Denzel Aberdeen's been playing really well. Malachi struggled on Tuesday, but he's been playing well. I agree with you. Kentucky in a matchup to matchup, I like Kentucky in this game. But I've said that about several teams this year. You mentioned the Georgia game. I mean, there's 3 home losses now this year. All 3 of them should have been wins. North Carolina, I hate to keep doing this and going back months to just vent frustration, but that game you went, 10 and a half minutes without a field goal?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, TJ, if this game was broken down into quarters, as it should be, for the whole being in the bonus and the fouls, all that stuff. I want this to be 10-minute quarters like it is for the women's game. You would have had 0 field goals for a whole quarter. That's crazy. That is crazy. And so you should have won that one. You should have beaten Missouri, and you should have beaten Georgia. If you'd have done all that and lost to Tennessee, I mean, we would. I could handle that a little bit better. But those are 3 losses that should have been wins, and because of that, you're right. You're on the bubble, and that should make Kentucky just as desperate as we talked about in the first segment. I don't want to hear that Auburn is more desperate than Kentucky because they're on a 5-game losing streak. That's Auburn, man. They're 14-12. They're 5-8 in the SEC. I understand they're fighting for a spot, and they have winnable games coming up as well. I think out of their next 5 games, 4 of them are very, very winnable. I think what did they play? At Oklahoma versus Ole Miss versus LSU. I guess if you consider Kentucky very winnable, then out of their last 5, 4 of them would be winnable. Then they go at Alabama to close out the season. So I absolutely think. Thank you. So we got some food being delivered. This is awesome.
Shack in the back's got to go.
Did we do the special? The shack?
We did. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
$10
pork chicken sandwich plus 2 sides.
Yep.
Or 1 side and a drink. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good deal.
Happy about that.
Yeah.
Gonna eat some of these fries during the show.
Kentucky needs to come out just as desperate as Auburn is. And you know, TJ, if you end up playing on Wednesday, you're probably not going to be playing on Friday. And Kentucky has played on Friday in every single SEC tournament since coming off probation. So it would be very strange to be in Nashville, or to leave Nashville on Friday and Kentucky playing no more games. But it is possible. I mean, it's possible you can lose on Thursday. But so far, even when they played on Thursday with Billy G last year, they've won that game. Now,
Yeah.
Actually, correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong about that because I keep forgetting the COVID year. What day did they play? They might have played on Thursday and lost. I keep passing over that season. It was for all the reasons that we try to forget about it.
I think that's accurate.
Okay, so that's the one time.
I think they would have played the number 1 seed that year, which I think maybe it was Alabama.
I think it was. Yeah, and then Dante Allen missed the 3 at the buzzer.
Yes.
It's the only loss to Mississippi State since 2009. It's the only time Cal ever lost to them. So I do tend to forget about that. So let's say one time.
I believe that was my birthday. No big deal.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Nothing bad's really ever happened on my birthday, but that wasn't great.
Yeah, so aside from one time since coming off probation, Kentucky has always played at least on Friday at the SEC tournament. So like to keep that going.
Yeah, non-weird pandemic years, right?
Right.
Yeah, so we can cross that one off the list. We're going to talk a lot of Cats Auburn today here live at Shack in the Back, Kentucky Roll Call. Stephen Peak, TJ Walker, producer Matt, just don't have a microphone for him, so we always pass it around. It's at least better. At least we don't have to huddle up where I'm just spreading my germs directly on you all. At least I can just if I wanted, Matt could say, "Hey,
what's up?"
That's enough, Matt. That's quite enough. But no, in all seriousness, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, we'll stop it there.
house is fully in one piece, not charred, not burnt, not even well seasoned. I think it's a pretty nice house. I'm happy to be there. Great sleep I got last night in a smoky bedroom.
All right, that's enough, Matt. No, I'm kidding. That time he was actually done talking. That's great to hear that the house is in decent shape. What's in even better shape is Stephen Peak's barbecue sandwich. That is a good way to put barbecue on. I've never done barbecue that way on a barbecue sandwich. He just loaded the bun up, the top bun, like there's no tomorrow. Just fully dressed that thing, just a lot. The bun is oozing, and then he just slabbed that bad boy on the top of the barbecue. And it looks good. It looks like a barbecue commercial, as a matter of fact. Yeah, we made this. I will speak for him. We will need some napkins. Maybe a little ketchup, too, if that's all right. I like ketchup. A little thing about me. My friends that are listening to the show are laughing because I really like ketchup. I don't put it on anything weird. I just usually use more than normal. But in my adulthood, I've cut back on that.
You ever do the mustard on the fries?
Ew.
No.
Mustard's disgusting.
Eric Church taught me all about that.
Eric Church personally?
Yeah, he said, Steven, I love to put mustard on my fries. No, it's a song, I love mustard on my fries.
That's the name of the song. You're kidding me.
I think the song is Love Your Love the Most. But in the chorus, he mentions putting mustard. And I was like, oh, let me try that. And I was a fan. I don't always do it.
At St. X, I would dip sometimes my fries or my Bosco sticks into my slushy, so I won't player hate, as they say in the business.
What's that experience like?
It's great. Something hot with something cold, something a little crunchy with something a little cool, a little melted cheese with slushy. It was shockingly good. And when people would try it, very few would, but I would get a ton of crap, rightfully so. I get it. I think putting mustard on fries is ridiculous, but I'm not going to hate on it because sometimes you try different things and it hits. But the people at St. X who would try it, they would be like, all right, dude, that's pretty good. And a few of them would even keep doing it, and then the ones who didn't like being made fun of and ridiculed, which I can't say I blame them because it certainly happened. But it was delicious. So get some ketchup and that barbecue sandwich, your first bite, did it live up to the hype?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's
really good. I'm just waiting to get some napkins. So, and also, I'm going to try to wait until the next break, and then I'll just probably devour the rest of this. I like this.
You can do it on the air. Do what you got to do.
I like this text, TJ. Happy Friday. Just won a $25 bet with my buddy that Bar Torvik would be mentioned in first 20 minutes. 18 minutes in, cash money. Man, that's cutting it close though.
Hey, I didn't mention it.
I do every show. I think.
All right.
It's a safe bet.
Have you mentioned the WOB, wins above bubble?
No, that's a new one. We have to learn that one.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was a big one. They did the mock draft or the mock selection committee. I'll talk about that here in a second. Also, they've got the news on, and the news is doing a segment on the Louisville Curling Club. Are you familiar with that at all?
So interestingly enough, Jacqueline, my wife, she will just get involved in like the most random things. Like it's one of the things I appreciate about her. Like she just will just go sign up for stuff. Like I would never think of doing. Like she just like randomly just signed up for tennis lessons. She's like, I think I just want to be good at tennis. Never played before. I just would like to be good at it.
Never played at all?
Never played. Just want to. Like she played volleyball. She's like, well, it can't be that. There's a net. There's a ball. How different could it be? So she like did tennis lessons and she did golf lessons. So her and one of her friends decided they're just going to take some curling classes. They want to learn how to play, and so she signed up for that. I think they have their first lesson like in a week. I imagine that it's booked pretty heavy right now. This is the best time for it.
That's what the news thing said. I think that's awesome. Life's too short. You should just try a bunch of different things and see what you like and don't like. You don't have to stop that once you grow up. You can do that into adulthood. So I think that's really cool. But that's what the news report said was that they are booked for classes. Would you imagine like every 4 years for Winter Olympics is like this is the time we have to strike? I would say you get more classes somehow. Do night classes if people want to curl at night. Be a 24/7 facility if need be. This is strike while the iron is hot. When else are you going to have this type of popularity? And the answer is, well, not for another 4 years.
Right.
That's the thing is how can they all right, in a year, how can we be popular again? In 2 years, how can we be popular again? Because I bet in a year you'll be able to get classes no problem.
Exactly. What's the Winter Olympic sport that you think you would be the best at or the one you would be most excited to try?
Best at? I used to be an okay skier, but comparatively to the Olympic skiers, no. I was never good. I could go off a little jump and not even.
But if you worked at it, do you think that's something that you could do?
If I if I could go back in time and work at it, probably still not, just because people grow up in skiing families, and I wasn't one of those people. It'd probably be curling, just because I'm great at cornhole. I'm a good.
I think those skills transfer over perfectly.
I think curling is a lot of hand-eye coordination, at least for whoever is the releaser.
Okay. Oh, that part of it.
You know, I think that is just like a touch thing, and that's why the Canadian cheater, which, by the way, I learned because I was watching the video and I was like, he's not touching it past the line. Once the block goes past the line, you can't touch it, and he was doing that. And you see that he was like, they set these cameras up to get me. Like, the only reason they put those cameras there were to get me. And they were like, no. You know, like anytime a coach loses a challenge, it's like, they put those cameras there just to get me.
Well, that was actually the truth. That was set up by, what was it, Sweden they were playing against? Because they don't have officials or umpires. Like, that's a gentleman's sport. They have to call their own fouls and everything. They genuinely did set that camera up to get him.
It's the Olympics. They have cameras up everywhere.
But that one he was genuinely set. That's a Swedish camera. Like, it was like basically the version of Huddle. They were setting it up.
They have cameras everywhere, and if this was just a Swedish camera at the right angle, well, guess what? They got him. So they got him.
Yeah, you broke the rules anyway, right?
Yeah,
Does it matter how you were caught?
Supposedly, it's well known that the Canadians cheat at curling, and they're hated in the international curling community. Supposedly, everybody was taking the other team's side in that affair. And are you Team Canada, producer Matt?
No, I'm against Team Canada. I'm Team Sweden here on this one. One, I can't even imagine it's not even like he touches the rock, right? It's not past the line yet, but apparently the rule is that as soon as you start moving with it, you are now not allowed to touch the granite at all anymore. So, like, if you're going to cheat, at least cheat in a way that's at least difficult to figure out. Like you said, you set up one camera, you're like, got him immediately, first try. And then whenever you get caught, the guy starts throwing the F-bomb around. I can't believe you're saying that I'm doing the – dude, we got you in 4K. We have 4K cameras around here. This is the most obvious blatant cheating I've ever seen in a sport in my life. I can't believe you're trying to defend yourself.
The texters
well said.
Into the Gameday Men's Health text line said, I've done curled before. It's fun. You all should get some friends or take your kids.
Hey, Texter, let me ask you this. Do you have to wear ice skates when you go to, like, the Louisville Curling Club, or do you just get to go out there in your shoes?
Because they don't do it in the –
They're wearing, like, special shoes, right? They have to be. Okay, here we go. Back to curling expert Matt.
I would say, is it like a bowling alley where you have to, like, rent the shoes?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And they have their own curling shoes out there, or are we just, you know, you got your Nikes on, you got your – if you're wearing sandals one day, it's a tough look.
Patrick Murphy said the Swedish camera was made from IKEA. A little Swedish reference there.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah,
as long as
IKEA.
This wasn't Wayfair, right?
Yeah, well, jeez, yeah.
We can get into that today. It's a Friday.
Man. Did you? I sent you guys the I think it was it Reuters that put that out? I forget who did it, but it was that. What was Epstein?
Epstein had an offer to buy, like, military buildings in the Pentagon and stuff like that. And the truth supposedly is he was given an offer to buy some, like, stakes in some military buildings, not like he was just going to own the Pentagon, but he was asked to, like, make an offer on some just buildings near, like, real buildings near the Pentagon, supposedly.
Well, that's weird. Like, we can all agree that's a little strange.
Yeah, I texted you all and I was like, he's thought that maybe he was working for some foreign spies, but for foreign countries. But it turns out maybe foreign countries were working for him.
Yeah,
he was giving the directives.
This is obviously why they didn't want this stuff released, right? Because it's the layers to this are getting. This is.
Did you see the timeline, the time span that conveniently was not released at all?
No.
Did you, producer Matt? Oh, it's interesting, but the timeline just right around 2001.
Oh,
a couple years before and a couple of years after. That's where you don't get as much release. Just much more withheld throughout that entire.
I did see that. I did.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, they set up a shadow commission? Has that been confirmed out of those, or is that just them because sometimes I don't know if they're just messing around with their emails.
There were emails that talked about that. You just don't know what's, like, legitimate and what's just kind of
are they just screwing around? Are they joking around even? Which is something obviously you would joke about around that time. So yeah, it's all very, very, very strange. My
conspiracy theory is he's very much alive.
Do conspiracy theorists now, like, they got to be walking out with, like, the chest out?
Oh, yeah,
just
they're batting 100.
Ha, ha, laughing at all of us who doubted him. Because I'll be honest, like, I watched the documentary on Netflix about Epstein, and at the time I was like, come on, he killed himself. Let's just stop buying in to these crazy people narratives, and completely bought the whole story and everything. That it wasn't really, yeah, he had this thing going on, but I mean, like, there's not pedophilic elites out there that are just no, there's no way. I mean, egg on my face. Like, I feel stupid. Like, that's.
Yeah, well, if you learn to just not kind of trust the main narrative, you'll be right more than not. Yeah, well, that's a good realization. Do we think the UFO file dump release is to cover up a potentially unnecessary strike on Iran, or the Epstein list? Which one is it?
You know what's crazy?
Because it's not for alien's sake. You gotta kind of be a goober at this juncture. I hate it because we've got some people listening. But like, if you're just like, oh, okay,
aliens,
sweet.
You know what? That's fine. I want to see the aliens. Show me the aliens, but then we'll all be bored with that in a week anyway, and then we can move on. Are the aliens in the Epstein files also? Like, are there alien?
Well, then we'd never hear about
Epstein
them.
An alien, or
then we'd never hear about them. Yeah, the alien. Like, I bet I'm intrigued just by what information we have, but we can't go to war with Iran. That's more important. And we need to start arresting some of these elites that are terrorizing.
Yeah, everyone else is doing, not everyone else, but a lot of other countries are making arrests, and we're not. And that's what's weird to me. Like, why are we the ones?
I saw a meme that was poking fun at Trump. I think Massey retweeted it, and it was just like official arrest count, and it was like election fraud for the 2020 election, and it was 0. Russian collusion hoax 0. Mar-a-Lago raid 0. Biden auto pin 0. COVID 0. Benghazi 0. Doge finding 0. Ukraine impeachment hoax 0. Epstein pedophile arrest 2.
It's up to 2 now, right? Yeah, because
there was 2 like foreign like monarchies that did it. Yeah, these. It's like, all right.
Well, that is actually. I mean, that
if people realize our royal family's fake and pedophilic, then they may really.
What do they do? Does anyone like? I know. I mean, I'm not.
Bring in tourism bucks.
That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
Like Buckingham Palace. Just come check it out. This is awesome. Does this hurt the tourism for that, or does it? Does it make it better?
I think it may have people not be in love, but it's like anytime there's a royal wedding, people just lose their mind.
I don't
get
it.
Why, this is all just not real, right?
Yeah, right.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Producer Matt has a lot to say.
It's not real.
That's it on Epstein, aliens, and everything else.
Aliens are really cool. I think that I like the shining bright lights at night. I like the questionable, is that an airplane, is that a UFO? I like the look that Stephen Peake has given me, like he thinks that I'm addressing the country right now, and he's wary of what I'm about to say. I'm starting to think Peake is behind a lot of this. Maybe he's in the Epstein files.
I checked.
He thinks that I'm going to be leaking something on the radio right now. Peake, do you have something to say?
I do have something I want to say. No, I like this text right here. Again, I love this texter. It can be both a distraction and something there. And then he says our president is obviously a moron. So, like, there could be it's a vast universe with, of course, but here's the thing. I would say, like, as far as I know, the aliens haven't never done anything to any of us, right? As far as we know, like, no one's ever. I mean,
beam me up, Scotty. No, here's what I think on the aliens. I think it's just highly, 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 highly unlikely that this time in history they're making contact with us at the present. Do I think that there is something else out there? Potentially, no, but maybe. I don't think it's impossible. Who's to say? Space goes on forever. The odds, I think, actually are that there is something else out there somewhere.
But could they get anywhere near?
But could they get here at this time in history with that technology? And would they care? Would they want to? Would we even be interesting to them? I think whatever UFO stuff we have is used as distractions by the government just to keep us kind of like, ooh, interested. They dangle it like a little toy. But I think there is actually stuff at Area 51 or in that general area, probably not actually there, but probably somewhere in the deserts or maybe in the mountains of like Montana or somewhere rural, somewhere random. And I think what we have there is just, hey, this is technology the world isn't ready for, and we're not ready for, and we don't know how to use it, and we don't really even know what it is. So this is where we'll kind of test it, and we'll always use it under the guise of aliens, because if it fails or if something, we don't know. It's aliens, whatever. And it'll keep people kind of strung along. I do think over the course of human history, our governments have a lot of information that may be alien-esque or even biblical-esque. And I think they keep that stuff hidden and under wraps from us. And maybe, I don't think any of this information is going to shed light on anything besides, like, we've seen the same stuff they released like 4 years ago or 3 years ago. They're like, hey, these, what are they called? UAFs or UAPs or UADs or whatever. They were like, hey, yeah, there's these objects flying in the air. We don't know what they are.
And they would go into the ocean, right?
And they'd dive under, and they'd get these like we'd get to hear the cockpit audio of these pilots. They'd be like, what was that? And then we'd be like, this is crazy. I need more than that. What communication have we with them and them with us? What ancient information do we have? Because they find these relics.
You didn't look into that?
They'll find these relics of they have a saucer in the sky. Like, that's weird. Why?
Oh, yeah.
3,000 years ago, why would they have something like that in the sky? And you'll find it throughout like different cultures, hieroglyphics as well. What do we have on that? But I don't want just unconfirmed, like, yeah, we saw this one time, and that's all this is going to be, folks. Sorry.
I think the aliens are a distraction from Kentucky potentially losing 3 straight games as well.
This has been a distraction.
Yeah, this is way more fun for me to talk about than that. But yeah, the ones where they're going into the ocean, I just think, like, why don't we look? Should we look into that? Like, you're just showing it? Why are you showing me this if you don't have any answers?
Yeah.
And why are we investigating? Did we explore part of the ocean?
Well, you remember like when the stuff was going over New Jersey?
Yes.
And
I had to fly to New York, and I was actually like, all right, I'm not buying into this completely, but I was slightly concerned.
Like, we're looking into it. We don't know. We can't tell you.
Kentucky was playing Ohio State.
And then Trump came into office, and he was like, okay, we know what it was. It was just our drones. I was like, okay, so hold on. Why wouldn't you have just said that? Like, why wouldn't their administration just said that?
I said the same thing.
And then if you're just saying that, well, how about a little more info on these car-sized drones? Yeah, what are we doing? What were they doing with them? Yeah, what's up with them?
Is that how they had these crazy maneuvers and people and Air Force pilots reporting? Like, we've never seen that before.
Stay woke, roll call. All right, hour number 2 live from Shack in the Back Barbecue out here in Fairdale, Kentucky. Roll call. Back after this.
Or just a message on the phone.
This is Kentuckiana's only locally owned sports talk, The Big X.
Hey there, New Albany. This is Mayor Jeff Gahan. It's another year here in our River City, and what better time to show your support for our high school's athletic programs. Whether it's basketball or football, track and field or soccer, swimming or tennis, our Bulldogs are giving it their all on the field and court. So let's rally behind them, New Albany. Come out to the games, cheer them on, and let's make some noise. Let's show everyone what it means to be a part of the best city in southern Indiana. Go Bulldogs.
The best place to meet friends, family, eat awesome wings, and watch the big game is Cluckers. So the next time you're looking for a great place to meet friends, family, eat awesome wings, and watch the big game, remember Cluckers, where it's always fresh, never frozen, hand-breaded food and appetizers to order, including chicken salads, sandwiches, burgers, and quesadillas. Visit Cluckers in New Albany, Shepherdsville, and the new location in Valley Station.
At the IHSAA, we're proud to have partners who share our vision of building a strong Indiana. I'm Commissioner Paul Neidig.
And I'm Rafael Sanchez, Chief Impact Officer of Old National Bank, founded and headquartered in Evansville, Indiana. We couldn't be prouder of our Hoosier heritage.
And Hoosiers couldn't love high school sports more.
That's why it's important to us as a Hoosier bank to invest in high school sports. We offer financial literacy programs that help student athletes make educated financial decisions once their playing days are over.
The association is committed to keeping high school sports focused on education first. The life lessons we teach help student athletes develop both in the game and in life.
And that's a win for every Hoosier.
Thanks to partners like Old National Bank, the future of Indiana looks strong.
Support education-based athletics by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is investing in our future.
This is building up Indiana.
This is your IHSAA.
Options. When it comes to insurance, that's exactly what you deserve. I'm Chad Hennessy with InsureMax, and I've been proudly serving the Louisville area for over 25 years. As an independent agent, we work with Auto Owners Insurance to find coverage that fits you, not the other way around. InsureMax delivers strength, service, and peace of mind through partners like Auto Owners Insurance. More choices, more options. Call me, Chad Hennessy, at 502-479-4085.
My name is Terry Schultz, CEO for the Rutherford County Area Habitat for Humanity. Republic Bank has really been a game changer. They have invested not only financially, but time to really listen so that we can move our mission forward. What I like about Republic Bank is they've come in asking, what are your needs? And I don't know that you get that any other place.
That's Terry's story. Now let's get to work on yours. Republic Bank, time to thrive. Member FDIC.
The plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC technicians of Local 502's commitment to excellence can be seen in our community every day. The KFC Yum Center, Ford Motor Company, and the Omni Hotel are just a few examples of their professional craftsmanship. Local 502 has been part of our community for over a century and invests over $1 million annually training skilled local workers. Members of Local 502 are your friends, neighbors, and children's coaches. For more information, go to lu502.com. Local 502, built on excellence, building a better tomorrow.
Beautiful Friday afternoon, and now that we get rid of all that stormy weather that we had yesterday, but temperatures, yeah, a bit of a struggle here today, especially to the north in Indiana, only in the lower 40s at best. Southern areas of the area into central Kentucky may climb into the mid-50s, but it won't feel like it because that wind is so strong. Wind gusts at times between 30 and 40 miles per hour. For the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Brian Good.
This forecast is brought to you by United Mechanical, your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration. Call 502-339-1133. Welcome back to Kentucky Roll Call.
I think we ain't done yet. You personally, I think we ain't done yet.
With Walker and Peak.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Kentucky Roll Call here on Big X Sports Radio. Live from Shack in the Back. They're coming back for round 2 of food. And I'm so proud of producer Matt. He's getting the turkey ribs, everybody, and he's going to be happy that he did. I still remember my first turkey ribs from last summer. You never forget
Still
your
remember my
first
beer.
Yep, you never forget it, producer Matt. I did get 3 messages. I'm not one to over-exaggerate. If I was to over-exaggerate, what would I say? 6 messages yesterday. No, but I had 3 different people reach out, and we had one on the text line, so I guess you could say technically 4 people just cracking up at me being like, all right, I think it's like 99 or 2000, maybe 2001, and then you just being like 2003. People just thought it was so funny. So I did get asked, were you doing that intentionally, or were you just following your own heart? I just told them, I was like, I wanted him to guess what he wanted to guess. And I had one person say that they thought that you were like trolling just by intentionally not doing it. Trivia yesterday.
I forgot what the question was.
Okay. It was about a movie.
Oh, was it Office Space?
Office Space movie. But there were several different ones where like I was like, all right, 2 or 3 years. I'm pretty sure it's in this range. And producer Matt would just go like 6 years outside that window, like close, but just outside of like he would not say the years that I was saying. Which is fine. I really don't care.
Did it work out? Did he get it right?
But it did make for funny radio, and I'm glad that people like reached out and commented on it because it was like 3 out of 4 times or 4 out of 5 times where I was just like these years, and then he was just like nah.
I was making genuine.
Is that working though?
Yeah, apparently Rowan told me it's working. So
well, that's great.
I was making genuine guesses that I thought they were, but then there was also the same text for the same show that asked if I give off little brother energy because I just go off of what TJ says. So I'm
No, they were saying that you gave off little brother energy because you specifically were not going what off.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
That you were like rebelling because they were like the same. I got the same 3 messages.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the
just
other way
like
around.
You were telling him these 3 years. And I was like, I wasn't telling him. I was in my own brain like it's these 3 years. I wasn't I'm not going to tell you what answers to guess, although I think I have done it a couple times. Oh, I got some sneezes down there.
They're already spreading that around?
Yeah, probably so.
There is a part of it where it's like a lot of the trivia you guys do, especially when you get to the Kentucky history parts, I don't know any of them. So I know that when we get to that part, I'm going to have to go off of what you guys say. So on the other ones, it's like pop culture or movies or stuff, like I'm getting my genuine answers. Like if you leave me on, I'm like, okay, that might sound right. Then yeah, I'll go with you. But like some of them, I got to answer myself.
You got to follow your own heart.
This isn't a hive mind.
You
I'm a free will thinker.
And I don't want it to be. I don't ever want this radio show to be butt slapper
TJ has
central.
me tied up in the studio unless with.
All right, now say nice things about me.
No, I'm not.
No, I mean now actually
prompt,
to say nice things about me. Actually, an AI prompt would be pretty cool at a time like this. All right, let's go ahead, and there's no good way to do this. Serious faces on. The Wes Rucker news is horrible.
Yeah.
You were kind of I can't speak for everybody, but I was loosely kind of following along last night and was like, all right, well, that stinks. I hope that's not true. And then if you were on social media a little later, it became more apparent that it was true. And then maybe if you didn't keep up with it throughout all of last night, maybe you woke up to it, and maybe you don't know who Wes Rucker is. But Wes Rucker would really fit in well with the UK media contingency, and at times mingled with the UK media contingency several different times, as a matter of fact, and passed away in a car accident yesterday after doing his own radio show, and never made it home to his wife or his young son. And I saw some places that his wife was also expecting, which is just heartbreaking and horribly sad. So our thoughts and our prayers and good vibes, whatever you're sending out, we send them out to Wes Rucker and his family and his soul. Just heartbreaking stuff.
Terrible.
And thank you so much. Second round of food came out up here. But, it really kind of hits close to home. I have kids. I have a wife. I do a radio show and drive around all the time for work. And he was tweeting about the USA Women's gold medal match in celebration of the win was his last tweet.
Sitting in traffic, I believe there was a traffic jam.
Yeah, so the way I read it was there was one car hit another one. It was kind of a minor fender bender. He, I think, hit that car in the minor fender bender, and then a car came and hit him. It turned into like this 5 or 6 car pileup. And he, the way that I read it, again, was that he was the only fatality. And just life is precious. Don't hold grudges. Try to be kind, especially to the people you love the most, and do your best.
Yeah.
And he actually, I think, had like a positive message on his radio show. Weirdly, did you see that?
I did.
He's just talking about like,
always something like
be
this
like
happens,
the example you want to be, and he wants to be a good example for his kids. And I didn't know him personally. I think we had maybe some social media interactions. I don't think he had ever been on roll call, and I don't think I'd ever been on one of his shows. But when you do this for such a long time, it can blur together a little bit. It doesn't matter if you know him or don't know him. It's horribly sad, and it's a tragedy, and life is precious.
It's terrible. I worked with Wes a little bit when I was working in Knoxville, and he was that was in 2014-15, and he was already like making a name for himself. I think he had the most followers of anybody in Tennessee media when I was there, and that just continued. He's going to be missed by Tennessee Volunteer fans for his coverage, but he was a really good guy. I mean, just a genuinely good guy. I talked with him in Omaha for the College Baseball World Series, and just again, like, I think he has Kentucky fans in his family, so he's very familiar with Kentucky athletics, and we got a chance to talk about that in Tennessee for a little bit. And we were doing 11 personnel last night. Nick Roush, Adam Luckett obviously know Wes and deal with and talk with them whenever we cover Tennessee games together. And when there were some rumors coming out, and I think all of us were kind of in denial about it. That was just like, no, there's no way he tweeted 4 hours ago. And you're doing the math in your head, like how long until like a news like that would get out? And you're like, really, I don't know. And I was thinking last night, I was like, all right, I wanted to see Wes tweet something out to say like, no, this isn't true. Like I'm good. And eventually it was after 2 hours and he hadn't said anything. I was like, I think that this is actually going to end up being true. And I was shook by it. I woke up this morning and just
felt weird. I wasn't really close with Wes, even when I worked alongside him. And I worked for Scout, he worked for 247, but we weren't like particularly close. But still, yeah, it does hit close to home because, we are all similar fields, and I know of him. I had several conversations with him over the past 10 years or so, and yeah, and like you said, TJ, I mean, like, that is the kind of stuff that just really hits for anybody. I don't think you have to be working in this field. How many times are we in our car in traffic jams? And, we don't know the details of this, but I think it's apropos to say, like, I'm bad about this too. I don't bat 1,000, but let's pay attention. Like, keep in mind, like, what you're driving. You're driving 70 miles per hour with metal. Like, let's pay attention to the road and everything. He was sitting in traffic, and you described it. That somebody came up and hit. It caused like a 5-car accident, and one person didn't see that and hit his car. And it's sad. It's that the way that it happens is frustrating. And yeah, he leaves behind a wife, a kid, and another kid on the way, and that is just absolutely devastating.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I didn't realize that you all had known each other, and, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry for everybody that knew him. That stinks, and, put sports and all the silly things that we talk about into perspective when something like that happens. 502-414-1450 is the Gameday Men's Health text line. Go ahead and text on into the show. Gameday Men's Health, redefining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Testosterone, peptides, weight loss, sexual performance therapy. Visit GameDayMensHealth.com, defining a new era in men's health. And really only in one place you can go from a conversation like that, and that's putting producer Matthew on the spot.
Aliens. I mean, we live in a tough world where I don't know what's real, what's fake. We're driving around in our own little 70-mile-per-hour UFOs ourselves.
Truly, I had no idea where producer Matt was going to go. I just knew it was going to be entertaining, or I knew it was going to be something interesting. We can go to the text line. That's always the best place to go after something like that. 502-414-1450. A texter says, laughing at your part in that discussion, TJ, is similar to a late-night UAP show randomly talking about UK basketball, but never having heard of Rupp. What part of that discussion?
I think you just talking about the parts with the
alien
aliens.
discussion?
Yeah, the flying saucers or the unidentified flying objects that are going into the water.
Well, then
he responded with one right after that.
That's sad. Hadn't heard about that. Well, here, still drones over New Jersey. They're still testing us. Texter, if you're referencing that I'm not familiar with other like alien encounters, then please inform me. Because that's how I took that text.
Oh, there's more that we're not getting to. Hey, yeah, feed us the info.
Do you think that this is more of like a cover-up of a cover-up of a cover-up situation? Maybe aliens don't exist and they're saying they do just to draw the attention.
Of course.
That's what we were trying to get at there in that entire conversation.
Oh, okay. Isn't it weird that it comes out right now?
Producer Matt is an underrated
Is it
gym,
possible?
Folks. I mean, that was like the whole undertones of our theme. It was like, this is just it's smoke. There's nothing. We're maybe going to war with Iran. The Epstein stuff is getting to a boiling point.
What is the point of Iran? What's the point? Why are we?
They don't even.
Does Iran even exist?
I have
what's the Iran joke?
Do you want to know what's crazy? On my Facebook.
Usually, Iran's really in between a rock and a hard place. Usually they're between Iraq and Afghanistan.
I went to my. I like to do this and go to my Facebook memories to see what I was posting about years ago. Found one from 10 years ago.
Spilling it.
TJ, check this out. I'm going to show it to you just to show that I'm not BSing anyone. Look what that says from February 20th, 2016.
So you're saying we should bomb Iran? Why did you say that?
I was making a joke. It was a little tongue-in-cheek.
Iran's always been on our radar since really 2001, but they've always kind of been a little too unobtainable. They've got some
They're a little bit bigger than Iraq.
They're huge. They're 92 million people. They have a geographic advantage. They're mountains. They're super protective. You can't just take tanks in there. You have to go through a pass.
Talking to Ted Cruz about this.
If you go through a pass, they can just bomb you and everything. So
sounds like you're more informed of it than Ted Cruz was when he was on Tucker Carlson's show. Tucker was grilling him about it.
Ted Cruz is an idiot. He's a war hawk. Lindsey Graham is a war hawk. These people want war, but they would never step foot in it. Going to war with Iran would be such a silly mistake. So they don't even have a good propaganda cover up for it. They're just doing it, and they're really only doing it because a certain ally of us is dictating us to do it. But it doesn't make sense. They have no good rationale. If you have one on the text line, we can switch from sports for the next 5 minutes. Let me know. Oh, they're a threat to the region. But I thought we had such the most successful, impossible, perfect bunker bombs. That was the word I was looking for. The bunker bombs.
We did that.
We used the bunker bombs and took out their nuclear facilities. And it was flawless, and it was perfect, and it was the most huge and flawless and most perfect execution of a military exercise ever. We shouldn't even have done that for what it was worth, but if it worked, it worked. And then Iran had to do the retaliate, they retaliated, but they gave our bases a heads up. So basically, Iran was like, all right, we'll take that one. We got to just send a missile to make it look like so we can sell it to our people that we sent something back to you, because they just lie to their people and then shut off the internet. They're bad. Iran's bad. No doubt about that. But I thought that worked. I thought that was going to be it. And here we are, not even 8 months later, and we may just do a full-on invasion. I do think this is all a bluff, is the good news. But we are sending our stuff over there. That's not a bluff. We now have some of our best Navy ships over there. We have sent over a ton of equipment, including tanks. We have sent over. We're making it seem like we're about ready to go all in on this country of 92 million.
Fear into
I
them?
think whatever, but it's like, what even negotiations are we trying to get? If their nuclear program was destroyed, then shouldn't we be happy with a destroyed nuclear program? And then who are we doing negotiations on behalf? Is it us or is it somebody else? And if it's somebody else, we don't need to be doing that. And we secondly don't need to be sending all of our equipment over there and putting more troops over in the region for nothing. It's all ridiculous. And they don't even have a good excuse for it this time. But it will be a colossal mistake to his legacy if he starts a war there. And the way they're talking about it is like, this is going to have to be a campaign. They can't do a Venezuela, Maduro, kidnap. It's okay to not be the global bullies. And peace is a cool thing. And it'll be a horrible, horrible mistake if we follow through with any sort of military action. I don't think we will, though. I think it's just a bluff to get whatever sort of deal. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, we know how to do war, TJ. We've done it 220 out of nearly 250 years of existence. It's kind of what we do. We're good. I guess we're good at it. I don't know. We haven't won a major war.
That's certainly something both parties can agree on. They just love a good war.
Yeah, it does. I guess it increases domestic manufacturing.
Yeah.
So you got to think about the
Rich get
economy,
richer.
Producer Matt. When it actually destroys our economy, but a few people get rich, and that's all you can ask for, right? Just a few people make billions off of the backs of soldiers being asked to give their lives for that. So that's I hate it for military families who have to live with this sort of anxiety that their son, that their husband, their dad might be sent off, and none of us three can figure out, but what are we doing it for necessarily? What are the negotiations that are falling through? That, what is at risk if we don't do this? Yeah. And I think it's because Iraq. I don't think you get to Iraq without 9/11. I think we needed an enemy. We needed soldiers to go and. We needed someone wearing a uniform of the opposing team that we can beat, so that we can get a little victory and feel like we did something. But this one just seems to come out of nowhere.
I think the average home age for first-time home buyers is up to maybe 40.
Wow.
Or or high 30s potentially. That is insane. That is insane. And I'm sorry, but prices aren't coming down, at least not substantially anywhere. We have just so much to focus on here that we just don't need to be sending more stuff to Ukraine and more stuff to Israel and being on the doorsteps of Iran. And it's just all seems so silly. Worrying about drug warlords with drug boats and blowing them out into Bolivia. Actually, probably Bolivia's next, maybe. It's not impossible. All right, we'll move on. Somebody says, thanks for being honest about all that. Rare to hear on the airwaves. All right, if somebody says, I can rarely listen live because of work, but got off early. I tuned in, and I'm greeted by KRC, by aliens, fatal car accidents, RIP, and Iran talk. Happy Friday roll call. It's been a week, hasn't it, everybody? It's been a week. What do y'all think about the Chicago Bears moving to northern Indiana? First off, is it actually going to happen? Do you think it's going to happen?
They said they just funded it, or are they still?
Yeah, they got plans for it. What are you?
I still think that they have I saw one tweet that said there's still one exit plan if Illinois got their bleep together. But I agree. It certainly looks like it's officially official.
I mean, it's comparative to San Francisco. Like the 49ers don't even play. They play an hour outside of San Francisco. They play in Santa Clara, which that's a little bit different. Like this is a whole different state. Like you're playing in Indiana. You're not even in Illinois anymore. So you're going to be what city is it in again?
Hammond.
You're going to be the Hammond Bears. Sounds like a high school team.
What was the name of the town in Stranger Things?
Hawkins, Indiana.
They may as well just change their name to Hawkins and be the Hawkins Bears. Then make a Stranger Things theme into it. At least that'd be kind of cool.
Hawkins, I haven't done any research on it, but I feel like they should be jumping in on the semi-pro sports game right now because I feel like that's easy branding of. Well, I've got Demogorgons or something.
I've got a couple bad news things for you. Hawkins isn't a real town.
I thought it was. I thought it was based on a real town.
It's maybe based on a real town.
Based on Hammond.
Hawkins is supposed to be Hammond, and Hammond's going to take on a lot of Hawkins. How about that?
That's where the aliens are at.
But Hawkins, Indiana, is not a real place like Pawnee.
I thought it was based on somewhere.
I think it's probably based on somewhere, but
what are they saving? How much money are they saving in taxes by trying to make this move?
$1 million. I don't know. I really don't. I'll try to maybe get that information.
I'm looking it up right now.
But a couple bad news things. That's the first bad news. Are you ready for the second bad news?
I know a lot of my Indiana geography.
The New York Jets play in a different state.
Yes.
So do the Giants.
Because they are.
Okay, well, that was another. Don't spoil the third piece of bad news for them. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you had multiple.
Do you have? This isn't a trick question or anything, but would you happen to know where the Cincinnati airport would happen to be?
It's in Newport, Kentucky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's move the Bengals to Kentucky.
See, that's why I don't really think this is all that big of a deal. And really, where the bigger deal is, not to get back on Polititalk, but political roll call talk, Illinois should be ashamed of themselves. How could you ever let the Bears walk? Okay, they want an indoor dome stadium so that they can host a Final Four and do stuff like that? Then build it, you dweebs. What are you thinking? You're Chicago. What are you doing?
Isn't Soldier Field regarded as one of the crappier stadiums in NFL at this point?
I love Soldier Field, and they have renovated and they've upgraded it, but it is still just said to be one of the worst set up stadiums in the NFL. I think it's fine. I look at it. Rivals held their all-star, 5-star football camp there. I think Drew Barker got to participate. I think I covered Drew Barker at Soldier Field then, and he. I was like, this is a cool stadium, but no, it's not to be very good.
It just. What's the travel like? Because the thing with New York is that you're just going. You don't have to travel very far to get to the Meadowlands to see your New York Giants or New York Jets play. How far from Chicago is Hammond? I have a computer in front of me. I guess I can look that up. But I
think it's a short 45 minutes on the SS Fitzgerald.
Okay. Okay.
RIP though.
What is that?
I just don't like this idea that you're. You're just going to hold every city hostage if they don't build you what you want? I mean, the NFL makes so much money. These teams make so much money. You can't afford to fund this stuff yourself? Is it not possible?
I'm just not getting. I didn't do a lot of research on this stuff. Was there a reason why they chose Hammond specifically? Why, is there not another city in Chicago that would be or not Chicago, but in Illinois that's we'll take them?
Hey, your turkey ribs are ready, big dog.
I know. I'm excited for the break.
Why don't you
the 9-hour?
Why don't you let me commentate your turkey rib eating? Go on.
I don't think I'm good.
No, go ahead and slip yourself a turkey rib.
I think I will.
Go on. I think they picked Hammond because it was the closest to Chicago where they could build the stadium that they wanted. I think they kicked around Gary too and whatnot.
That'd been fantastic.
I would have loved it in Gary. Actually.
Gary, Indiana.
The Gare Bears.
The Gare Bears. Oh,
I've got a friend who's a Gare Bear, so yeah.
Dang. The home of Michael Jackson.
I would have thought that's cool. I would love it if they actually just changed their name to the Indiana Bears. If they just really stuck it to Illinois and they're just like, you know what, you all, we wanted to work with you. You were going to have to give us something, obviously, because we are a brand. You're going to have to give us a little bit. Indiana's going to give us everything. We're the Indiana Bears.
So Indiana is going to build them the stadium?
Indiana is going, I think the Bears are giving like a one-time down payment of
I think I saw like
$200 million, which is a lot. I don't obviously.
$2 billion. The Bears are willing to put toward infrastructure and stadium
behind on a zero there. $2 billion.
With a B.
And I think they're out of it though at that point.
Yes.
And then do they own it?
See, that would be interesting.
My guess is they probably have.
They probably are going to give it to the Chicago Bears.
I think that they would, which means like think about how much money that franchise is gonna.
I don't like.
It's probably a partnership where like the state's gonna, hey, we're gonna get our money back in time, and then we'll get like annual kickbacks on taxes or something like that. But I'm guessing the Bears are getting a sweetheart deal in this deal by leaving Illinois, and good for like again. If you're a Chicago fan, you can be mad at the Bears all you want, but I would be furious. I know that they killed horse racing basically in Illinois. I don't know, and then maybe do it, but I know they've got some crazy restrictions if they do. I think they've got some weird betting laws with that. Supposedly Illinois does not have their stuff going on. And this is a warning pretty much for, I don't think the University of Louisville is going to move on over to to southern Indiana, the north side of the Ohio River. But I think Louisville City, do you remember Louisville City threatened that? When it was time for them to move out of Slugger Field and they were thinking about a stadium, and they kind of kicked around like, well, we could go across the river, and obviously the feedback on that was no bueno.
And they went and built their own stadium.
FC
the
Cincinnati
city didn't have to do it.
Every Cincinnati pro sports franchise at one time or another has kicked around the idea like, all right, well, we could move across the river. For what it's worth, you want to get me to become a fan? Be a professional sports team in Kentucky. Reds, you move across the river, I'm TJ Redlegs. Bengals, I'll still like the Packers. I'll still love the Packers.
I wouldn't be able to cheer
but
for the Bengals.
I'll start getting the stripes on my face if I have to do that. You get the little goofy soccer team over there that's never won big time. I'd root for them even. But yeah, I can draw my line. Where do I draw the line? It looks like the Ohio River line. And then it looks like the Tennessee State border line. And then whatever's over on the Carolina and Virginia. And okay, you get the idea. We can quit the bit there. Let's read a couple texts here on the Gameday Men's Health. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that the Bears are moving. I think it's hilarious.
Do you say that as a Packers fan?
I think I would care if I was a Bears fan. I think as a Packers fan, I think it's just funny seeing their fans split. And, I mean, there are fans that are okay with it. But the majority of their fans are actually kind of ticked off, so split maybe isn't even the right word. But seeing their fans upset, that makes me happy, especially with how the playoffs went. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited, and, nobody's going to call them the Chicago Bears, even though they're going to be kept the Chicago Bears. I won't, that's for sure. So I think even if I was just neutral, if I was a Patriots fan or if I was a Dolphins fan, I would still like it. Illinois, do your part. Chicago, do your part. You're a big city. If you wanted them to stay, you'd have the money. You'd figure it out. But you didn't, so kick rocks.
I'm going full rebrand.
You can't call them
the Indiana Bears now.
Yeah.
Maybe even change the mascot.
I've actually said that with the New Jersey teams. Why not just why isn't one of them at least called the New Jersey Giants? That way, if I'm from Jersey, that can be my team. The New York Jets can be the New York guys' teams.
I think we've learned over the years. Taking the New Jersey split is not beneficial.
The Nets?
Yeah, because they tried that. I thought the Nets were cool. I liked the Nets as a kid. And
Brooklyn Nets does sound better though.
I don't care. I don't think any
New Jersey
higher
Nets, Darren
Brooklyn
Williams,
than
one of my favorite players of all time.
I was just I thought but they're in the business of making money. And when you have the New York brand, you remember when Anaheim, Anaheim Angels wasn't good at, they were the California Angels.
Yeah.
Should have gone back to that.
I like that.
Then they went to Anaheim, and then they're like, ooh, yeah.
But the Los
We're not
Angeles
selling
Angels of
to the folks of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Sure, we've got this Anaheim, a.k.a. a big neighborhood market covered, but what if we got into the Los Angeles market without ever having to really do anything? So you're getting the Hammond market, that's for sure. You're going to corner Hammond.
But what do you think Hammond is full of Colts fans, or is that too far north?
I'm being sarcastic. I think there's like 10 people in Hammond.
I'm looking that up. I got to see what the population.
And they probably were Bears fans. I don't know. Maybe they're probably good Notre Dame fans.
Yeah.
Probably not eating meat today. I would imagine the Hammond folk are.
Take any guesses as to the population of Hammond, Indiana?
Say 5,600.
It's a lot more than that.
Whoa.
Yeah. Not like a
Am
lot.
I
It's
sleeping on-
76,000.
I'm sleeping on Hammond? That's
think,
huge.
Do we think that the citizens of Hammond are going to have the same kind of rebuttal towards this stadium moving there that St. Matthews did with Topgolf?
Check
Is it
out
just too much
downtown.
noise, too much lights going on?
Don't slander. Don't slander St. Matthews.
There's the tallest building in Hammond.
It was Hurstbourne. That's the tallest building?
Yeah, that's it.
What is that, like 5 stories?
1, 2, 3. Yes, 5 stories.
All right.
That stadium's really going to stand out.
All right, 76,000 in Kentucky. What do we compare that to? I've got the comparison.
You do.
Gosh, it's just not perfect to me, but I
Bowling
guess
Green.
It's Bowling Green.
Boom.
Bowling Green,
Nailed it.
72,000.
Okay.
That's crazy. Like again, I'm no
Bowling
Hoosier expert, and the further you get from Louisville, the less I'll probably know about the Hoosier State. But Hammond's hiding. That's a lot of ham. 76,000 people. They're going Hamden.
They're going ham in Hamden, yes.
Oh, nice.
Boy, let's get me to a break, Roman. Let's get me to a break immediately. This is Kentucky Roll Call. We'll talk Cats Auburn, one final segment here on Big X Sports Radio.
Everything's the same.
Sunrise with Scoots.
Louisville, I'm just kind of scratching my head on. Get a real opportunity.
Get your text into the Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. And get on out here to Shack in the Back Barbecue in Fairdale. They've got $10 lunch specials. Pork, chicken, 2 sides, $10. Or one of those sandwiches, 1 side and a drink, $10. Pretty good deal, if you ask me. Stephen Peak, TJ Walker, producer Matt Childress. Live at Shack in the Back for about another 23 minutes, but Big X Sports Radio will be out here all afternoon. So you can see Roman Kelly. Is Roman going to be, I guess he won't be doing the show out here, will he? Okay, he'll be in studio, so you won't get to see Roman. That's a bit of a setback. I think the people like seeing Roman. But
I like seeing Roman.
I guess you'll get to see Mike Rutherford. And Mike Rutherford said the first 5 Big X Sports Radio listeners that come see him at Shack in the Back in the Shack, he will do some of his little practice dances for you from the Louisville dance competition. So Mike Rutherford is a man of his word. So if you want to see just a little bit of his dance routine, come on out to Shack in the Back Barbecue, and he'll do one of his little shimmy salsa shakes that he's been practicing so hard for. We'll also do the Kentucky Roll Call Picks of the Week presented by Chad Hennessy of InsureMax. He's proudly serving the Louisville area for over 25 years. You can call Chad Hennessy at InsureMax today, 502-479-4085. Producer Matt got to eat some of the turkey ribs during the commercial break. Producer Matt, your thoughts?
They unironically might be my favorite ribs I've ever had in my entire life.
Whoa.
I mean,
High praise.
I'm getting these things down to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to the nitty gritty. I'm taking the gristle off of them if I can.
You got a little marrow in your mouth.
Oh, a little bit, of course. So we have to. I'm a little football fan.
That was good, Matt.
But it was funny during the commercial break. He looked over at me almost like he was like scared or ashamed to admit it, and he was like, "These may be some of the best ribs I've ever had in my life." They will undoubtedly be the best turkey ribs you'll ever have in your life, and they are just. I agree, couldn't agree more. They also brought us some dessert, which I wasn't as familiar with. I don't know if it's what peanut butter pie. I was gonna say that it's like chocolate and peanut butter. You can't go wrong with that. It is delicious as well. So not eating meat today. I had for lunch fries, mac and cheese, some street corn, and peanut butter pie. Nice healthy meal. Oh heavens! Oh goodness gracious!
Almost just died. I saw.
Are you okay, Producer Matt?
I'm okay now. I was going to say that, besides the street corn, I'm pretty sure you're eating the same meal that you just feed your kids every single night. So.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, I really am on the 4- and 1-year-old diet. No doubt about it. Steven, you wanted to bring up the worst women's basketball team in the history of the sport?
Yeah, let's talk about it just real briefly. Fisher College, the Fisher Falcons, they are from Boston, Massachusetts. They are 0-20 this year. This is probably the worst basketball team that you will ever find anywhere. They are shooting 15% from the field for the season. They're 14% from the three-point line, which is actually crazy to me. That it's that close to the 15.5% they shoot from the field, and they're 36% from the free throw line. I was
gonna say, if you're shooting basically 14 and 15% respectively, just go ahead and make all those bad boy threes.
Yeah, exactly. You might as well just shoot them all, right?
What's the difference?
They are in the NAIA. They play in the Mid-East Conference. They're 0-20, but they're not just 0-20. They have lost 108-31. They have lost 100-10, 111-20. I'm just these games get worse. 141-12.
Yeah, that's sad.
121-21.
Oh, that's 100.
That's 100 points. Well, and their most recent game, they lost 94-5. So they played 40 minutes. They scored 5 points against teams in their conference. So yeah, I just found that just
not to pile
insane.
on, but that's like go to the Y and you're just picking 5 people and you're beating this college basketball team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, maybe pick 4 people.
Could you imagine having to coach this program?
I guess maybe pick 3, yourself included.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be the 4th. I think 4 people can beat them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
4
I
average
think it's
people.
Probably possible. Now,
never
I
seen
haven't
them play.
Tape on them.
I was gonna say never seen them, but scores like that would seem to indicate.
Scores like that and stats like 14% from 3, 15% from the field, 36% when no one's guarding him at the free throw line. That's a rough deal.
14% from 3 hits a little too close to home for Kentucky fans from time to time.
Yeah, it kind of does.
We don't think that
we've had some stinkers.
We don't think there's some gambling aspect in this. I mean, these are.
Can you
to the
bet
point where-
NAI games?
I'm just saying, like maybe some under the table gambling with each other, because I mean these are numbers that you would think that you'd have to really try to miss this many shots.
Their tallest player is 5'9". So I think that's also an issue.
That would also be an issue.
Their starting guard is 5'1".
That's not very tall.
No, it's not. And
I think it's very tall.
Vivian Lara, she's in her second season as head coach, and God bless her, because this seems like this will be. I'm going to keep my eye on them though to see if they make a turnaround. If so,
where was this school?
This is in Boston, Massachusetts. They play NAIA ball.
Gotcha.
The Fisher College Falcons. So I'm going to keep up with keep the next few years and see if they're able to turn it around. Yeah, I wonder what their NIL situation's like.
Ooh, it's got to be nice.
Yeah, they probably didn't have 22 million.
Batcats take on Evansville today, hitting the road. Evansville. In these early season games, sometimes it's nice to get away, get somewhere warm, and the land of the Bears.
Does it get real warm in Evansville? Should we ask Patrick Murphy?
Patrick Murphy is not our Evansville listener.
No. He said he went to school there.
Oh, Patrick Murphy went to Evansville?
I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Maybe
local John is the Evansville fan.
I got it mixed up. That's what probably happened. Okay. I probably clicked on one and saw the other one. Yeah. Okay, my bad. My bad to local John then. There you go. That's what he said.
Really disrespecting Patrick Murphy over there saying he's from Evansville.
Yeah, that was pretty disrespectful. Do you want to apologize to Patrick?
Can I apologize to both him and local John?
And he's sick.
Patrick's sick?
Yeah.
Did he get it from you?
No, maybe.
Through the airwaves?
Well, I've been sick since that last remote at Salsaritas, so not impossible. Not impossible. But Batcats, they take on Evansville, and the Aces at 4. The Aces have not won a game this season. Batcats, after a disappointing midweek loss, anything short of a sweep will not be acceptable. We won't accept it. We just won't allow it.
What happens when we don't accept it?
We'll protest the game.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll walk out.
I've talked about this before, but you remember on the old CSAA brackets, it would always just say no protest in big letters.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Like, what is, okay, I'm going to protest. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Stop me.
Does it, because I remember.
Like, hey, honey, we're going to oh, never mind. No protest. Sign says no protests.
There was a guy who tried to protest one of our games once, one of the other coaches in the tournament.
Really?
Yeah. I actually knew the guy. Nothing could happen. I think he was like protesting something about with the clock or something like that. I don't really remember. Or that maybe the scoreboard was wrong.
Did they say, did you not read the bracket?
Yeah, you should have read the not fine print, the big bold print right
exactly.
there. It says no protest.
Yeah. Yeah.
St. Edwards.
502-414-1450. They'll be having a fish fry tonight. If you're going anywhere for a fish fry, let us know on the Gameday Men's Health text line. Otherwise, you come to Shack in the Back, get the best barbecue in all of town. 502-414-1450. Somebody sent in a picture. Yeah, that doesn't look real. Can't go with it. The sports owners got used to what we used to call corporate welfare. Less profits for them if they have to pay for things, so they hold the public hostage. Well, if Indiana's happy to have them, then I don't think Indiana's probably making a goofy decision bringing the Bears to Indiana. That'd just be unthinkable to say that 20 years ago, really 10 years ago, really probably even 5 years ago. So if that benefits the Bears, that's a win for the state of Indiana. It's a win for the Bears owners. And who knows, maybe someday Illinois will get their bleep together and get the Bears back in Illinois and back in Chicago. Texter says, you can call me Patrick Murphy. Hopefully the Batcats can win in a not-so-warm Evansville Purple Aces. That's a lie, Pete, but it's not warm in Evansville.
It is weird that they played two road series now. One at, I almost said Wilmington, UNC Greensboro. I don't think it's particularly warm there, was it? And then Evansville.
No, I don't think it was.
So, and, I know people are upset about the Moorhead game, but that stuff does happen, especially these weekday games. You're throwing your midweek pitcher. And the thing about baseball, too, you really are as good as whoever's on the hill. Whoever the pitcher is defines how good of a team you are. And it was a little frustrating they couldn't scrape across runs. Maybe it's a little more frustrating. They've only had one home run through 4 games. But they lost to, did they almost get swept, or did they get swept by Kennesaw State the year they went to the College World Series. I know they lost one of those games, like 13-1. So
they lost the series.
Okay, it's two games. So yeah, I mean, like, let's just. I don't really get into Bat-Cat stuff until after the NCAA tournament, and then we'll see where they're at.
Yeah, they don't drop a game to Evansville. Even before Peak checks in, don't drop a game.
Yeah,
to
make it to
Evansville.
where I want to check in.
A texter says, wife just finished ultrasound, 98% size at 28 weeks. Future Notre Dame tight end, says one texter. Oh, that's exciting. Congrats. Texter says, LOL, Iran beef goes back to the 1950s. There's nothing current that relates to us. Oh, okay. Trump was on the TV. Just needed to make sure we didn't go attack another country or anything like that. Whatever beef we've got going back with Iran to the 1950s, well, we don't need to worry about it today. I'll tell you that much. I'm sure the pros have special curling shoes, but for people like us, that's what they do. That's what they do. Okay, here we go. Oh, sorry. I didn't read the text before that. I did curling in Nashville. You just wear shoes. They give you a plastic thing that goes over your shoe to help glide across the ice.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Texter says, I don't know why Steven, former ex-boss, does the we might not even make the tournament thing after every loss. We saw yesterday we're on the 6 line. I'm shocked that it's at the 6. I'll tell you that much. I still think if they lost out, they wouldn't get in the tournament. I know it's a silly thing to say. Why are we even – if Kentucky basketball is in a spot to lose out, we really need to reevaluate things, and we probably need to do that anyways. But right now they're comfortably in. That's not up for debate.
Yeah, I think they are comfortably in if the season ended today.
Correct.
But I think that there's still the possibility. I mean, obviously, if you lose out, you're going to be on the bubble. I don't think that's going to happen. But let's get our guy some more money here. Bartorvik said that has Kentucky only winning one game. Now, if they only win one, that puts Kentucky at 9-9, and that would be what 19 or 18-13, and 9-9. Does that get them in?
Oh, he said 9 was the magic number, so I'm not backing off of it now. I think 9 and 9 gets them in.
For what it's worth, I agree with you. I think that is good enough to get them in. But we might be, depending on what the SEC tournament does, we might be sweating out Selection Sunday if it ends up playing out as as Ken Pom and Bartorvik expected to. Now, to be fair, Bartorvik doesn't bat 1,000 either, so he was wrong about both Tennessee games. He was wrong about Arkansas, and a couple more that Kentucky won that he didn't think Kentucky would win. So I still think it's possible that Kentucky goes to Auburn and wins, beats South Carolina, beats Vanderbilt, and maybe they split Texas A&M and Florida. So we're winning out, TJ. There you go. I've already talked myself into it. They're winning out. They're locking in that 6th seed, and let's see what happens.
So what you're saying is Bartorvik is a silly, stinky poo-poo head.
He doesn't know ball. His algorithm doesn't know ball. No, I actually, what would you say, TJ, out of the next 5 games, what's Kentucky's record?
2-3.
And that will get you in the tournament. So I agree. I don't think it's like they're a lock to be in right now, but I would say if I was betting on it, they're in.
I think they will as well. A texter says, Keyshawn Hall, underrated Pope whiff. I don't really remember the Keyshawn Hall recruitment all that well. I'll take your word for it, though. Yeah. Torvik has us going 10-8 in conference, which is 2 more wins. You have to look at projected total, not going by game.
That's right. Yeah, so that's same thing with Ken Pom, I think, too. It's the if you go game by game, he has Kentucky going 9-9. But, yes, in his modified projected record, it's different. Isn't that weird? So he's basically saying, I'm going to get one of these wrong. He has Auburn by 4.8 points. He's got Vanderbilt beating Kentucky by 2.4, A&M 5.4, and Florida 6.7. All those games are within are close enough that you could say Kentucky could flip one of those, right? So, yeah, I think that the projected 10-8 is probably going to be more accurate. I agree with TJ. Kentucky probably finishes out the season 2-3, beats South Carolina, and still one of the last 4.
Also, did you all lie to me about the start of the hockey game yesterday? Didn't you all tell me it was like 3?
It wasn't me.
The men's hockey game?
No, just the women's.
The men's today is at 3:10. The women's was yesterday morning.
Yes. Okay. Well, it was when we were on the air, I'm pretty sure.
The game, yeah. When we finished, when the show was over, it was in like second period.
Okay, so we were just talking about the men's at 3:10 today. Wow, Switzerland.
What's Switzerland doing?
That's curling.
Okay.
Did Canada lose in hockey earlier today?
I think they're playing. I don't know. I hadn't checked.
They were losing. I'm all out of my Olympic sports right now.
Because I don't think Sidney Crosby's back. I know that they didn't. They said they didn't.
Canada came back and won 3-2. They beat Finland.
Oh
Good,
yeah, that was the other day.
That was today.
You're sure? Was that an overtime?
No.
Oh,
You're
okay,
thinking
they
of
had 3-2 comebacks. Then.
Yes. Yep.
And then it'll be Slovakia versus the United States. 3:10. They were right on NBC or Peacock. That'll be fun. The United States is a 2.5 goal favorite. I almost feel like you'd have to take Slovakia at that rate, right? 2.5 goals in an Olympic semifinal.
Yesterday.
What's that?
Had it on for a little bit.
Did you guys watch the women's game yesterday?
I did. Congrats to the USA. Very exciting. Overtime winner against Canada. Thought we were going to lose.
It's fun. Beating Canada in hockey is fun.
Beating them 8 times in a row.
Well, now the USA men's will have a chance to do it, but they'll have to beat Slovakia first. If they do that, they'll play for a gold medal. That game is Saturday. Did you all say it? Or
I
would
don't
it
know
just
that offhand.
well?
That tomorrow?
Tomorrow or Sunday? It'd have to be because the
feel like
Olympic ends on Sunday.
Because since the women's have been going, I think they've been playing every 2 days. So I don't know if that keeps on going the same way or not.
Interesting. Canada is the favorite to win the gold at -155, but that's probably in large part because they are already in the championship match. We'll give you some gambling picks here in just a moment. Read a couple more texts into the show. Technically, Washington plays like 40 minutes away in Maryland as well. It's just hilarious because they're leaving downtown Chicago to go to one of the grossest areas in America. Well, nobody compliments the beauty of northern Indiana besides Nick Roush, unless it's a family vacation. Texter says on the Gameday Men's Health text line, the Bears' new stadium is less than 15 to 25 minutes to Indiana based on traffic. It's 25 miles away. Also, Arlington tried to get them. Illinois has been an issue for them in general. Neither the New York teams play in New York. The Jets and the Giants are in New Jersey. Thank you for all that on the Gameday Men's Health text line. Another texter says, what do you all think of Lewis Moore, IU safety? He played 3 years at junior college and split 4 years at IU and Ole Miss. He should not have been playing this past year, right? Vacate IU's title now. Sounds ineligible to me.
I did see yesterday that I forgot who it was on 3 who did a report that he is one of the players that technically is getting looked at to see if they were actually eligible this season, and the NCAA is making some strides to try and see if those players are ineligible. So
get them out.
Not saying it's 100%, probably low percentage, but it's never a 0% that title might, something might happen.
Get them out. I love that U of L fans are rooting for IU to have their title vacated. We read that one.
We should
all right.
vacate just all titles and everybody start at 0. We just start over again.
Let's see here.
Just go into the dark ages.
Is it bad that I'm more excited to watch USA hockey today than the Auburn game? Made dinner plans during the game tomorrow, and I'm bothered to miss it. I hate that for you. Listen to the post-game show. But I don't think, unfortunately, you're alone. This team has kind of yanked folks around a bit too much for their liking. And even when they bought back in, they lose a home game to Georgia. You just can't do that. John here, I cannot wait to watch the Bat Cats going up against my Purple Aces in Evansville. Hey, I believe my Aces will get at least one on the diamond. All right, you better be wearing blue, John, and if we find out otherwise. All right, our basketball Cats are in a must-win situation. In my opinion, another loss could send this team down a mental state of no return. We'll got to go. Talk to you later. Yeah, I mean, this team is – nothing would surprise me. They could lose this one and then win the next 4. They could win this one and then lose 2 out of the next 3. Anything's on the table on a night-in and night-out basis with this team. The only consistency is their inconsistency. And there'd be something fun to that if they were winning like 90% of their games and they were going to be like a 2 seed or a 3 seed. Whereas like, yeah, and sometimes you had that with Calipari teams.
Yeah,
where they would look so pedestrian, but they'd win.
67 to 58, you pull away late. It's not super convincing, but you look at the record at the end of the SEC, and you're like, oh, they only lost 3 games.
Sure.
Lost 2 games.
Now let's go win the SEC tournament.
Yep.
And then during
he
that
would usually
stretch,
do that.
You would do exactly that. Yeah, those were the days. Texter says, happy Friday. Just won $25 bet with my buddy that we read that one already.
Yeah.
Pope has to be better at his substitutions, timings, combos, too many losses, or because certain guys playing together at wrong times. He needs to clean that up.
Yeah, I mean, like
more Aberdeen, Owe, and Chandler.
You just
got
got
in
to
doubt.
the guys.
Like those dudes
we
need to
talked
be
about
playing.
it. Acuff played 50 minutes the other night for Arkansas. We're not asking. No one's played 40 this year. I understand his offense is a lot of cutting and there's a lot of movement and guys can get more fatigued, but I don't know. I think that they're the best shape of their life. They get a break every 4 minutes, TJ. They get a break for every foul call. I think they're fine, and I think you just have to throw that metric out because the drop-off is too – it doesn't outweigh what the drop-off is when those guys come out of the game, right? So that's what you have to look at. Do we have any more?
Yeah, Texter says I'm not a realtor. That's not me. I promise you, that's not me. I'm not a realtor. Circling back to the student lottery talk from yesterday. Oh, that's from last summer. Another texter says, Butt Slapper Central would be a good radio show name, but I heard they're changing Rutherford's show to that name. Am I right? Decent one there.
There's a new one that just popped up, too.
Okay.
All the focus is on Stokes, but, man, it really sucks we couldn't land Crow. He'll be special at Mizzou.
Yeah, and he'll have like 35 against Kentucky in a loss in Columbia.
At Missouri next year.
Yeah, potentially. All right, so my pick of the day, there's a couple that I like, but I think the one that I like the most is Kansas giving 10 points against Cincinnati. Go ahead and take the Jayhawks. They're going to blow. I don't know if Darren Peterson's playing, not playing, maybe playing.
10 minutes.
Yeah, they'll win anyways.
12 points.
And I think the Cats lose by 3 in a very frustrating bad loss. Still picking a little bit. We're signing off. Sorry. Pete, sign us off.
Okay, I'm going to take Kentucky to not only cover the spread but get the win down in the Plains, and that's my pick of the day. I don't think there's anyone. St. John's. I'll take St. John's to cover all.
High confidence in that one. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to this Kentucky Roll Call live from Shack in the Back Barbecue in Fairdale.
I'll drink your beer by this time tomorrow.
This is Kentuckiana's only locally owned sports talk, The Big X, AM 1450.